What's up guys, I'm here with another video, welcome to episode 149 of Let's Build the City. Today we're building a modern hotel. Let's build a modern hotel. Hello, Carrot Cluster subs, Chizo KI, welcome to live stream.
What's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a hotel for all of your city building needs. This hotel has a reception area where you sign in to the hotel. It has a large lobby where you can sit and eat and drink and wait for your room to be ready or kill time during your stay. It has multiple floors connected together with a series of staircases. Each room features a living space, a sleeping area, and a bathroom, and also a small balcony. I should also mention there are 5 floors in total. However, each floor has a very similar but different styled layout. If you enjoy this tutorial, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get to see all of these awesome builds that I make for you on the channel. And the reason that I actually made this build in particular is due to your suggestions. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you want to see. Maybe I'll make what you want to see next. But without any further ado, I hope you enjoy your stay. Let's get started. You guys know the drill. Before we begin building, here are all of the materials that we are going to be using. This hotel is split into many different parts, which requires all different sets of materials. These materials right here will more so focus on the actual hotel building, some of the interior, and mostly the outside part of the hotel. I am going to show you all of the rest of the materials that we are going to be needing as we work on each individual part. So please just focus on those materials to start off with, and throughout the video I'll be letting you know which ones we are going to be needing when we reach those different parts. So make sure that you have them all and enough of them as well. The amount of space required to make the hotel is a 29 by 26 block area. I would always recommend making the grid if you are building a city, as this will help you better plan it out. This does not, however, involve the road around the hotel, but everything else in between. All of the trees, the car park, all of that, the path that you might have saw, all of this is included in the 29 by 26 block area. And that's it. I have talked for far too much. Please do make sure that you have all of that stuff, make sure you've got enough of it, make sure that you've got enough room to build it, and once you're ready, we can begin. So, step 1, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to come all the way to the front right-hand corner of our grid. We're then going to count left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then inwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That way, if you've made the grid, we're both starting in the exact same position, which is the best way to do it. Now, you want to start off by placing 4 blocks of quartz coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to extend it in 2 ways. First, to the left by 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However, also backwards by the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
If you like, you can extend each row inwards to connect to each other. This will become more relevant later on as we build the interior. However, once you have done that, I want you to also extend those 8 blocks down to the ground, like this. Only the 8 blocks, you don't have to do the one that we extended in the corner just yet. Like so. I then want you to also take those 8 blocks that we extended and extend them upwards by, in total, 21.
21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Perfection. Just like this. And of course, we want the other one extended upwards as well, as I mentioned. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I counted that out to make sure that those both rows were indeed correct. I want you to extend those 20 first blocks inwards and together, like this, kind of like an arrowhead shape, like so. However, what I also want you to do, once you have created this shape right here, is I want you to take those 20 first blocks. Let's say we're going to start with this left row here, this row on the left. I want you to extend it across towards the left side of the build by 8. 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However, I want you to take the other block and extend it across towards the back of the build by also 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now that we have created Mario's mustache, I want you to extend those 8 blocks backwards to create a 90-degree angle. It basically will look like a large arrow shape, like this. You can see the inspiration for the shape. Now, once you have done this, I would encourage you to extend all of the corners down towards the ground. So what I mean by that is, this corner, all the way down to the ground, where we extended across by 8. I would urge you to do the same on the other side as well. The other corner that we extended down by 8 as well, or across by 8 I should say. But I also would suggest that you extend the back corner, the tip of the arrowhead, down towards the ground as well. This is actually a huge amount of shape that we have created with the hotel. It is quite a simple design, however looks complicated because of the layering, but you'll find that it all slots together very, very easily. So, as I mentioned, I want you to extend all corners down. It takes a little bit longer in bedrock because building down takes a little longer just in relation to the other versions. But the end result should all be the same, like that, a nice 3D building. Okay, here's the cool thing now. I want you to grab your grey concrete. We will be doing this on the front of the hotel and the right side. Place a row of grey concrete that sits outside in relation to distance but inside, in relation to the shape of the large rectangular shape that we have created with the building. This equates to a shape that should look like this. Fairly easy to do. I want you to extend the top two corners of the grey concrete shape outwards, each by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And join them together, just like that. We are then going to extend those corners down towards the ground. I really wish that I didn't have to build down, as it is quite tricky, but we will eventually get there. I will actually jump the gun a little bit once we have connected this down to the ground, and I will build upwards from the other side. So the other side would be here. Nice and smooth. So we want to have an effect that should indeed look like this. That's looking good. Do the same on the opposite side, literally the same thing. So inside of the shape kind of reminds me of a paperclip, not a paperclip, it reminds me of a staple, and I want you to do the same thing. I'm actually going to drop down to the ground here instead of having to build down. So you begin with the same shape that just sits inside your outside of the rectangular shape, and we take the top two corners and extend them outwards by 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's wider than it is longer? Whichever words you'd use, you guys get the idea. So it isn't meant to be a square, it's meant to be a rectangular shape, just in case you were wondering. But the end result should look like this on both sides. You can see we've made a sizable amount of the frame of the hotel. Very good job. Okay, well the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add a floor to this area here. Okay, so this square area, which is where the reception area is, I would recommend filling in with either block of quartz or oak wood planks. Now, you might even go for what you could refer to as a hybrid of the two, but I'm going to start off with a block of quartz layer and then we can discuss options afterwards. Okay, so that's perfect. What I would also recommend doing is connecting the quartz rows together on top of the reception area, meaning join them at the bottom, across and inwards like that, and you could even go as far as to fill in these walls. You see, these are going to build into interior walls. It's going to house the bedrooms for each one of the rooms, and it's also going to house the sort of lounging areas / living rooms that each of the hotel rooms have. So if you join them across and together, and you fill them in with exclusively block of quartz, really, then we can talk about other details that we can add to the walls, including perhaps a little bit of grey concrete and stuff later on. These are all optional things that we're going to be doing later, so these are just the bare bones of the hotel. We'll also be adding windows and stuff too, if you should want them. So as you can see, that left side is filled in with block of quartz, this right side is going to be filled in with block of quartz. The hotel itself is actually quite nice and bright, but a lot of it comes from internal light rather than external, meaning a lot of the lighting is actually made by lanterns, torches, that sort of stuff. Even a little bit of end rods, actually. A lot of the living room lounging area is made up, the light is made up of end rods, which make really cool looking lamps. You'll see later on, but that doesn't mean that you can't include more windows and stuff. So that is what we have so far, and as you can see, that is a large chunk of the top part of the hotel there. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is, if you begin in the corner of the top of the reception here, in between the two large rows, and you count outwards, okay? So you want to count outwards, or what we could even do is place a grey concrete. And I don't know whether we'll be extending this upwards or not. It actually depends. No, we won't be extending it upwards, but if you place a grey concrete and then you want to leave a gap moving outwards, you want to leave a gap of 1, 2, 3 in the floor. So this fourth block here, you want to place a grey concrete also. So not quite in the centre. So place grey concrete, leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth block you place a grey concrete. And then you want to, on top of this grey concrete, place 15 more. 1,
15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Extend to the right and left to connect back to the building of the hotel. To connect to the building of the hotel. You can even join it around and across at the top like this and install a skyline using blue stained glass block. Just like that. Now, if we come all the way down to the bottom, I also want you to place rows of grey concrete riding up the walls where the grey concretes connect to the walls at the top, so creating a solid shape like this. The rest is quite easy, so what we would do from here is, starting from the bottom, place 3 layers of glass, 1, 2, 3, followed by a grey concrete. 3 layers of glass, grey concrete, so on and so forth, coming all the way up to the top, like this. And you extend the glass across, as you do with the grey concrete. And that's all there is to it. And that makes the middle part of the hotel. Although, what I would urge you to do is, whilst we are here, place the grey concrete parts and install floors inside of all of these areas. So the floors can be made out of either block of quartz or oak wood. I'd more so recommend oak wood because it follows through the hotel, but you can change the floor. You could even use coloured concrete if you liked. But I'm going to install the floors every time that we have grey concrete on the outside connected horizontally, splitting apart the 2 windows. We are placing the oak wood planks. And this will come all the way up to the top. You'll be able to see how this is done here and here. And oh, we hit the top. Perfect. Just like that, right? And the way that we'll be able to get into both rooms, by the way, I'm going to destroy this grey concrete here. There will be 2 doors. So there'll be an entrance here, right in the middle of the room, and an entrance here. And that is where the doorways are going to be. I do believe, I hope I've not got that wrong, otherwise we'll have to fix it later. But these are where the doorways will go between the living room / bedroom area of the actual hotel. So all there. Which means all we have to do is place some blue stained glass in these empty parts right here, just like this. And we have done a little bit of flooring for the interiors of the rooms, which is cool. And we've also made the kind of feature of the hotel, which is really cool too. I'm going to place some blue stained glass paint around the outside of the top of the terrace here, just above the reception area. And now we are going to focus ourselves a little bit on the grey concrete areas on the left and right. So when it comes to the grey concrete area on the left, because they are different. That is a balcony area, and this is stairs area. You want to start off with a similar thing that you did for the part that we were just working on, which means at the bottom of the grey concrete area, you want to stack 1, 2, 3 glass with a grey concrete on top. And you want to do this coming all the way up, and it will divide evenly, and it will coincide with the rest of the hotel. So you'll notice a pattern, like it evens up with the middle part of the hotel, and it will also even out with the balcony also. But what we also have to do for this part of the hotel is we also have to add quartz block, and we want to connect the quartz block together with the two. This part of the hotel is we also have to add quartz block, and we want to connect the quartz block together with the two rows of grey concrete. So we want to create a wall for the side of the hotel here. So this wall is going to be how you will get into each individual room. It's also, as I mentioned, it's the hallways for the hotel, it's the staircase for the hotel, it's how you get up in between each individual floor. So it's quite important that we do install a floor right here and now, or we install a wall right there and now, like I said. Perfect. Which then allows us to place all of the grey concrete. I'm going to place the grey concrete across first, like this. Now, the reason that we are placing the grey concretes in such a manner like this, we're placing them across first, is because we are going to be installing floors into this particular part of the hotel. So we want to install these floors now, and the floors go exactly where the grey concrete does. So I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm just going to dig out the grass for this bottom part of the hotel. So this is the first floor. This takes you to the lobby area where you can get drinks and maybe a little bit of food and stuff. You guys might have been to a hotel before. We're going to connect the edges of it together using grey concrete because you'll be able to see underneath the glass. And we are going to turn the rest of it into open planks. The doorway is going to be a single doorway right in the middle at the bottom of the hotel like this, and this will take you into the lobby, reception, and out again. Okay, so as I mentioned, each floor is where the grey concrete is horizontally. So we're going to add these now, and later on we will add stairs. When we actually whip out the stairs and stuff, later on we will add all of the stairs and the doorways and the little bits of detail that we actually do have for each part as well. But we'll be doing that later, whether it be in this part of the tutorial or whether it will be included in perhaps the lobby area and stuff. But we want to add in all of this oak planks here, and I do know that it's time consuming, like that, that's perfect. But then that allows us to add all of the blue glass in as well. So everywhere else you basically do, you want to fill it all in with the blue glass, and I'm even going to opt to fill the top of this part of the building with blue glass as well, because that will let some natural light in. And despite the fact that every single floor does have its own what shall I say, artificial light, I also find it important to add, where you can, some natural light as well. Because artificial light, you know, whilst it's all fine and well, it's all good and everything, I do like the natural light as well. And it just, yeah, it's just something nice about it, really. So, filling every single one of these sides in, as I mentioned, is quite time consuming, but I can promise you that we are rapidly approaching the point in this hotel where we don't have to do loads and loads of more mass building. You see, once we have finished the staircase area, the hallway area, whatever you want to call it, the divisions between each one of the floors, we are going to focus on the balconies on the opposite side, and then we are going to focus on the exterior walls, and then the interior floors. So that is what the left side of the building wants to look like so far, nice and fancy as you can see. Now let's flip over to the right side. That is what the left side, which are on the floors. We are going to focus on the balconies on the opposite side, and then we are going to focus on the exterior walls and then the interior floors. So that is what the left side of the building wants to look like so far, nice and fancy as you can see. Now let's flip over to the right side. So this side is very, very similar, but kind of sort of different. Okay, so the idea is we want to, once more, we are going to add a wall, a quartz wall, between the back pair of grey concretes, right? So we want to have a quartz wall that's just sat nice in between them like this. It's not where you think it might be, it's not like a little bit backwards inside here. It is in line with where the grey concrete is. This creates a little additional level of depth, and it's a little bit more interesting and slightly more unusual. placing it here rather than where you might expect it to be. Or at least I think so anyway. But once we've created this wall, this will allow us to facilitate us in making the balcony areas. So there we are, perfect. Now all we have to do is figure out where all of the balconies go. It's quite easy. Starting from the bottom, you leave a gap of 3 from the ground. 1, 2, 3, grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, grey concrete. So on and so forth, coming up the entire side of the build. If you like, you can even use this part to aid you as you come up, as you can see where the grey concretes are in the same place. Those grey concretes want to spread across and connect like this. And they want to go through this part too, here, there we go, connect across, connect. I'm even going to fill the top of this in once again with blue stained glass block, because it just feels right, and then we place coming down, where are we, so, oh, we've got to do both halves too, so we've got to do like, whoa, no, extend across, inwards, across, and inwards, and it really doesn't matter how you accomplish this part exactly, as long as you do. So, cross, and then once more inwards. So, there we have it all divided up. We are going to dig out the grass area for the bottom. Now, the bottom part of the hotel, this bottom floor area, is actually a way to get into the lobby. So if you don't have to sign in or anything, you don't have to go through the reception, and it takes you right into the lobby, which means we're going to have a doorway just off center to the left here. We're going to leave a gap of 1, and on the right, going to knock this out and have a little window. I'm going to connect the bottom of this together using grey concrete on the left and right, and I'm just going to pinch the left side and right side inwards by 1 with smooth stone in the middle. And I might even have smooth stone for the floor actually, instead of quartz, because it actually follows on from what we're going to be doing elsewhere. But glass pane, specifically pane not block, is going to be used to connect all of the sides together on top of the grey concrete. I'm going to use, well, I mean, you could use, here's 2 choices, or 3 choices, even 4. Use either block of quartz, grey concrete, oakwood plank, smooth stone, and maybe even some white concrete for each floor of the balcony. I am going to trial none, am I? No, I'm going to use block of quartz. No, I'm not. Okay, fine. I'm going to use some smooth stone for each one of the balconies. Now, again, this is all sort of like dealer's choice, meaning you pick what material you like the best. I'm thinking maybe the smooth stone, just to be a bit different. However, I'd probably rather use block of quartz or maybe even a little bit of grey, but you know, sometimes it's interesting to see what different combinations might come out. Each balcony has a door in the centre, so feel free to knock out a double door right in the middle of each balcony. It's also worth mentioning that we of course have to place all of the glass on the sides of the balcony. I'll be using glass pane. I wouldn't use glass block only because I want to differentiate, again, name of the game, you know, keep things a bit different. I want to differentiate between this side and the opposite side, and I fear if I use some glass block, then it might be a little too samey, you know? Maybe you don't, but I feel that's what I feel. So now you can see if we take both sides, you know, there's a decent amount of difference. I want it to look a little bit different. But now that we have done that, anyway, we can come towards the back of the building now. So the back of the building, I would highly recommend just placing block of quartz everywhere, okay? Completely fill in the back of the build using block of quartz. We can add windows and stuff later. There is no need for us to add it whilst we're actually building in the block of quartz. It is so much easier to carve out the windows, really is so much easier to carve out the windows once we actually have a good foundation of block of quartz built. I'm sorry if you don't like doing it this way, but as always, so much easier, it really is. Yeah, this is quite time consuming. So once we've built these walls, here's a list of things that we still have to do in regards to the outside sort of area before we start doing the inside and all that stuff. So, we have these two walls to fill in. We have all of the inside floors to fill in. We have the roof to fill in. And then we just have the outside sort of area to fill in. Meaning the pathways, the car park, the trees, I think that's it, flowers and bushes and stuff. So, we don't have a huge amount more to do. We've been making really good progress on this. So much faster than I actually thought we would. We're doing great in building this hotel. And you're doing a really good job keeping up with it. So, we're going to continue filling in these floors, slash walls. And I'm probably going to keep rattling on. I don't really want to speed any of the video up, because I feel as though that if you're building this in creative mode, if you're in survival, then, you know, that's a different story completely. This will take you so much longer. But if we're both in creative mode and we're both building the exact same parts together, then it's probably going to take us both a similar sort of amount of time. And it might help you to know that not only are you doing this, but I'm doing it as well. So, you know, both of us get to suffer in filling in these walls. Not my favourite thing to do in Minecraft, but absolutely necessary. So what we will end up having should look exactly like this, okay? On the back of the hotel, I want you to line up with a part specifically. Okay, so this is where some, I don't know how best to describe this. This is where some, like, you know, weird measuring techniques come into play. I want you to take the second floor balcony, and where you have the glass for the second floor balcony, we are going to come across, and we are going to count into the block of quartz. 1, 2, 3. We're going to move upwards by 1 and destroy this block. Leave a gap of 2. Destroy this block. We're going to leave a gap of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Destroy these 2 blocks, and then the 2 above. That will give us this pattern. This pattern is repeatable. So, above the single windows, you want to leave gaps of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then do the same. You want to continue this pattern upwards towards the top of the hotel. Eventually there will come a point where it would look silly to keep trying it, and you'll actually just straight run out of space. When it comes to the double windows, you simply leave a gap of 2 coming up the hotel, like this. The space. When it comes to the double windows, you simply leave a gap of 2 coming up the hotel, like this. And eventually you'll reach the top and you won't be able to place any more. Of course, glass has to go inside of these empty spaces. You can use either glass block or glass pane. It doesn't really matter which one you do decide to use. I, for some reason, am feeling the glass block. I don't know why. I'm enjoying it lately, so, you know, use your favourite in the construction. It really doesn't matter to anybody else other than you, really. There we go. On the opposite side of the hotel, the left side I guess it is, I want you to come all the way down to the bottom corner, which is here. And I want you to count to the right by 2. 1, 2. Go up 1, destroy. Destroy the block to the right and above, like that. Leave a gap of 2 going right, 1, 2, and then destroy the next 2 by 2 square to the right. What we will then do is a similar thing to what we did on the other side, in that we will leave a gap of 2 coming up, and then we will destroy a 2 by 2 window coming all the way up to the top of the building. So there is only one window in the corner, that corner there, but there are many windows coming up the sides. Additionally, there is another little window. So, everywhere except for this bottom window, you want to take this window here, you want to take the lower half all the way over to the right, and leave leave a gap of 1 from the edge, and you want to place a small window here. And then you leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, window. 1, 2, 3, window. 1, 2, 3, window. 1, 2, 3, window. And we are going to place blue glass block in all of the empty space like this. And we will do it building up all of the side of the hotel. Just like this. We'll fill it all in, and it will look fairly nice once it's done. So from the sides, it actually looks almost artistic, like it almost looks a little bit abstract, which is cool, but all of those windows serve a purpose for all of the rooms, even including the lobby. So what we now have to do is quite a daunting task, ladies and gentlemen. We have to install all of the floors. The floors, I mean, you should know where they go, right? It's wherever you like, where we have an entrance here out onto the glass, that's where a floor goes. Same for the balcony, that's where the floor goes. The floors are made out of oak planks, alright? Feel free to change the material. If you want, I mean, block of quartz is fine, any sort of coloured concrete's fine, grey concrete's fine. Stone if you want to. I wouldn't. I like the warmth of the oak planks. That's why I've used them. I like oak planks for the floors. And as I said, you should know where these floors go, I think, because we've added in several floors before, so I don't think you'll run into too much trouble. I'm destroying the quartz blocks for the on the entrances out onto the balconies, and I'm also destroying them here with the, I don't even know what to call it, but it's kind of like it's almost like a hallway, the middle part, like it leads you from the living room areas to the bedroom, and also the inverse of that as well. The only difference is actually, the only difference is when you get to the top floor, and I will show you the original version of the hotel top floor probably when the time comes. The layout is ever so slightly different, because when you get to the top floor, you don't have the middle part of the hotel where we have the grey concrete. That is only for an aesthetic choice. There's actually no other reason not to have it. But it does mean that the layout changes a little bit. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. And we are rapidly coming to the point where we've done a huge amount of the the actual building, which is really cool. We're going to be focusing on the interior floor for the lobby after this, and then we'll be adding some details around each particular floor, and we'll also be taking care of the outside, which is really cool. And then that's like a huge hard part of the hotel to me. Once you've actually built the lobby for the hotel, once you've built the reception area, the hallways and all that fun stuff, then we will be able to move on to the individual rooms. So you can see how we progress and how we're actually coming very, very far. It might have seemed like quite a daunting task to build an entire hotel. It certainly was for me to design one, It was actually like when I kept getting the suggestion to make a hotel, I was like, oh no, I don't know if I can make like a really cool functional hotel. I can make ones that look cool, but I wasn't sure if I could make one exactly that would like work really well, like interior wise. But I think I've actually managed to do it. I actually really like how the hotel functions, and I hope that you guys will too once you come to build it and spend a little bit of time with it. But there's so many floors here. I think that we need only one more, maybe one more, which will actually be the top floor. Hang on. So here, we've got one more to do. Perfect. This last floor, you don't have the guider for the middle part, but it's where the balcony leads out onto, so it's fairly easy to know where you've got to build. And as I mentioned, like when you get up to the top floor here, like there's nowhere to even go. Like you'd be walking out onto the actual top of the centerpiece for the hotel. So yeah, there will be a layout talk later on, but we're going to place all these open planks just like this. Nice and satisfying. It's quite satisfying actually, like especially when you get to the top to place all of these here and here. Yeah, nice. And then all we're going to do is add a sheet of grey concrete, which is going to be the roof, just underneath and here. Yeah, nice. And then all we're going to do is add a sheet of grey concrete, which is going to be the roof, just underneath the top. So grey concrete just underneath the top like this. And this is going to be the roof material for, I guess, the top floor of a hotel. I don't know if it's always called a penthouse. It's usually the largest floor. It's usually the largest room. It's actually the smallest room in this hotel just because of how it's designed. But I think that you would call this the penthouse. And if you wanted to, you could even install some lights into each one of the rooms if you wanted to. Like you could add some glass if you wanted, but that's something that you'd more so do later on once we actually hit that position of doing each individual room. But you can see that we have taken care of the outside walls, we've taken care of the roof at the top, and you might even be able to see from the outside that we've taken care of all of the floors. What this leaves us to do, ladies and gentlemen, is some of the inside, and also the reception. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to connect these two blocks of quarters together, like the inside of the reception. I want to extend them each side inwards, and I want them to join in a logical place, like this. And I'm going to raise up the block of quartz walls to each reception area. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to connect these two blocks of quarters together, like the inside of the reception. I want to extend them each side inwards, and I want them to join in a logical place, like this. And I'm going to raise up the block of quartz walls to the ceiling, like so. Just like that. Now, I'm going to do the outside part here. So when it comes to the outside of the reception, I'm going to just destroy these two blocks here, and I'm going to place some smooth stone because we're going to have two doors here. I'm going to place, I need different material, I need some quartz stairs. And I'll grab the doors also, I guess, whilst I have these, so doors here. So I'm going to have a double door here where I place the smooth stone, and I'm going to have glass above the doors. I want to leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, a block of quartz going right of the doors. I'm going to place upside down quartz stairs in this empty space here, with glass in the empty space above the quartz stairs. I'm making a point to destroy underneath the stairs and place a block of quartz. On the side wall here, I'm placing two upside down quartz stairs coming inwards from both sides, with glass block on top of the stairs. Block of quartz in between the stairs coming up towards the ceiling, like this. And I'm going to destroy underneath the stairs and place block of quartz in its place. Just like that. And that is the outside part of the reception area. The inside part of the reception area is slightly different. Well, I say different, it's inside, isn't it? But, like, this back corner here, I'm going to destroy these 2 blocks, a 2x2 space, and I'm going to destroy in the floor and place oak wood planks here. This is where a double door is going to go, leading into the lobby. If you leave a gap of 2 between the double door coming across this wall, place a block of quartz, leave a gap. Place a row of 1, 2, 3 block of quartz, and then connect to the wall. That is sort of like where the person behind the desk would hang around. You can even place, yeah, I thought I had one, an oak trap door here to connect these 2 sides together. I have stupidly gotten rid of my oak planks, but I do need them. You see, I'm going to destroy the floor where the reception is, even underneath the... No, actually just inside, and that can itself be like a quartz or red concrete actually. And I'm going to place some oak wood planks like this. I'm going to destroy the rest of the floor, and I'm going to place some red concrete. So this is supposed to look like carpet. You could even use carpet if you like. I happen to like the concrete better than carpet. It's supposed to give a warm, welcoming feeling, as you might expect in a hotel lobby / reception, like this. So as you can see, that is actually a decent little area taken care of. We'll add details to this later. If you move through the hotel to this part, we are going to completely re-floor it. We are ripping off all of the grass, and I'm going to turn it into oak planks. So any grass I see is going to be oak planks. You can even place a doorway here if you like, but all this oak planks. Now, the reason that this is going to be oak planks is because, I wanted kind of like a warm sort of floor. I didn't want to make the entire floor red because a lot of the booths and stuff, a lot of where people are going to be like sitting and eating, or at least that's kind of like how it's planned out, is like it's made out of red concrete, and so hence why I didn't want to use red. Red is like my favourite colour, hence why I use red a lot. But let's say your favourite colour is blue, use blue. Your favourite colour is, well, it'd be a bit weird because the rest of the hotel is white, but if your favourite colour is white, or if your favourite colour is grey, black, etc., you can use that as a flooring material as well. Wherever I've used colour, that is what you would substitute it for. And the same thing sort of goes anywhere else. Like if you don't like oak wood planks, use birch. If you don't like birch, use spruce. You guys get the idea. So adding in all this floor right here, and we might even add in the kind of like the bar area as well. So now that we have an oak wood plank floor, in this back corner towards the back of the room, area as well. So now that we have an oak wood plank floor, in this back corner towards the back of the room, we have a built area. We have a bar sort of area. In this back corner, I want you to place a quartz block.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, I'm back.
Leave a gap of 2 and place 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Place a grey concrete and extend it towards you by 3. 1, 2, 3. Connect it to the wall. We should actually even have a gap in this. It can be here. That's where the gap can be. If you like, you can detail the gap by adding an oak trapdoor, or you can just kind of leave it. It doesn't matter too much. It's a very small detail. Just whilst we're in here, no, we don't need to do this at all. So now that we've done that, we've actually completed the floor and stuff. But now that we've done this, I think, now it's time for us to come outside. So we've actually done like a huge amount of the inside. We'll be adding details and stuff later, but that's as we go on. But what I do want to show you how to do is each one of the balconies whilst we're out here. So the way that I've decorated the balconies, it's a very, very simple design. And each floor is designed to look the exact same way, by the way. Every floor of the balcony, every floor has a chair, which is made out of quartz stairs and no trapdoor. It has a light, and it has a plant, which is made out of a terracotta and some sort of leaf. You can even add in a door if you like. So, and by the way, if you want, you can even change the sort of like colour of the seat if you want. Like, I've been liking polished diorite lately. You could even swap that out, or you could use anything. But the idea here is that on every single set of the balcony, on every balcony we'll have a chair, which is like a quartz stairs, trapdoor on the side. We are going to have on the opposite side a potted plant, which is a terracotta with a jungle leaf on top, and then a light hanging somewhere, so perhaps it can even be next to the chair, and it just makes it's a nice little detail. Like, that's a balcony, and another one, and another one. Like, you do the same for every single floor, but you could change it up, so like you could change the trapdoors for each floor, you can change the stairs, you can change the colour of the terracotta, you can change the leaf, you can change the position of the sea lantern. Well, the sea lantern is just a regular lantern, but you can change the position of the lantern if you like, and you'd obviously have it all different coming up. You'd have a whole different set of colours, as you might have seen at the start of the video. But of course we'd want to place doors as well, so an oak door or different doors, probably not different doors, but a door in each of the empty spaces like this, coming all the way up to the top as well. So that's just the outside the balcony areas. Down below here, I didn't really design there to be anything, so it's pretty much just a door, and if you like, you can have a hanging sea lantern to kind of like show people that there's a door here. You could even have 2 to show people. And if you did want, then you could stuff a plant in the corner if you wanted to. That's a design choice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so now that we've hit this part in the tutorial, we're just going to focus a little bit now on the outside of the building. Okay, so the pathways, the car park, and the trees, because they make up a cool part of the building. Okay, so what do we need for this part of the building? We're going to need some stone slabs. We're going to need some leaves. We'll need some flowers. We'll need logs. We'll need some quartz slab. So, what do we need for this part of the build? We're going to need some stone slabs. We're going to need some leaves. We'll need some flowers. We'll need logs. We'll need some quartz slabs. We'll need some grey concrete, some yellow carpet, and a little bit of white concrete. And if you like, now this is an optional choice, like this probably won't be in the item list, but if you like, you can use some lime terracotta to add some accents to the outside of the building, and I'll show you what I mean by that as well. So the first thing we're going to do is add a path leading out from the double entrance here, where the actual reception is, and we're going to dig out a row of 8 leading outwards from this double door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And we are going to dig out this double wide grass block area. And we're going to place smooth stone in this area instead. We're going to extend the smooth stone backwards and connect it to the entrance into the lobby area as well. I'm sorry if I actually did that a little bit fast, but just in case you guys didn't catch that, extend outwards by 8, and then you don't have to really count it, you just kind of extend backwards and connect like this. We are also going to extend the path forwards towards the front of the hotel by 10 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, a double wide path coming into the other side, pretty much. So not towards the back, but towards the front, like that. We're going to leave a gap of 2 from the end here. We're going to dig out another path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that wants to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Be a double wide path made out of smooth stone, like this. You want to extend the ends of the path backwards, each by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you want to extend both ends of the path back by 6, and also the middle of the path you want to divide it up by 6 as well. Place some white concrete inside of the empty space. You want to place yellow carpet in between the ends of the white concretes too. And we want to dig out the middle of the parking spaces and place grey concrete inside here. So these are going to be where people may park their cars, and they're going to be inside of these 2 empty spaces, like this, which is cool. We are also going to add some flower arrangements. So just left of where the car park is here, we're going to leave a gap of 1 between the building and between the car parking spaces, and it's just going to slot in here. You kind of want to have almost like just like a single. Is it a single? Okay, so this is the idea. We want to have like a flower circle like this. It's going to be like right here, and we just want to be able to slot 2 jungle leaves. So it's just like 1 row away from all of the building and all of the car parking spaces like this, and it's just a little flower circle. Something decorative like that's quite nice. We want a similar sort of thing here, so if you start off by placing the poppies and make sure that you are just 1 row away from the path and from all of that, and then place some jungle leaves in the middle, then you've got a nice colour, a nice little splash of colour everywhere, which looks really good. Additionally, we are going to be placing some trees along the outside here, so we're going to basically place quartz slabs. Where we have this stone path here, if you leave a gap of 1 and place a row of quartz slabs coming all the way along the side of the hotel, it comes as far back as the quartz wall. Extend it backwards by 2 rows and extend it across and connect like this. And then we're going to place 2 jungle trees in here, or palm trees as they're known. So from both sides you place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 jungle leaves, 1, 2, 3, 4 jungle leaves inside this trough. And then all we're going to do is place a jungle leaf on top and around the top of the top jungle wood, like this. And then we just want to have an additional jungle leaf coming downwards diagonally on every single side. So on absolutely every single side like this. Just like so. Here and here too. So that's perfect. And we want to have a similar arrangement on the opposite side of the hotel here. So we're going to place this in a similar sort of place. We're going to start in this back corner here, and we're going to place a quartz slab. And we're going to extend it across by, I mean, how far do we want to extend it? Probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, probably, yeah, about 12 or so. It wants to be about as big as the other one. We're just going to extend it inwards like this. But the important part, I mean, how far do we want to extend it? Probably like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Probably, yeah, about 12 or so. It wants to be about as big as the other one. We're just going to extend it inwards like this. But the important part is that we can fit 2 trees in it. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 coming in from that end, leaving a gap of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 coming in from this end, leaving a gap of 1. And then we place these same jungle leaves on top. And you may or may not want to add this. I mean, this is, you know, you might not want to add at least jungle trees. Regular trees would look fine, but there's something about like palm trees and stuff that kind of go together with this particular part of the build. So whether or not you actually do want to add this, I mean, I'm going to leave that up to you, but I quite like it. So here, and here, and then, you know, it's just kind of like you've got some good vibes. I really like that. And then all you might want to do with the lime terracotta is just sort of fill in this area here on the front, leaving a gap of 1. I'm actually leaving lines in it too, adding like a slab of lime terracotta here. Just, I don't know, just leaving some lines in, just having some like freshly mowed grass in the lime terracotta, it just looks kind of cool. And then that's the outside of the hotel, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very well done for hitting this part. Very, very well done indeed. You've done a great job in reaching this part of the tutorial. So the next part of the tutorial, that's all we need to do for the outside. The next part of the tutorial will feature, in order, we'll be taking care of the reception area, the lobby area, the hallways in between each room, and then every single room. So, you guys know what I'm going to say, right? We are now going to get rid of most of these materials that we have. We're going to get rid of most of them, and we're going to grab all of the materials that we will need for the reception area. So, on the screen right now is every single material that we are lacking for the reception area. Make sure that you are able to grab every single one of those, and once you do have every single reception area material, we can move on. So pause the video if you have to, let's do it. Okay, so I have just finished grabbing all of the things that I think that we're going to be needing. Once you do have all of the items that I showed you as well, pause the video if you have to. Once you do have them all, we can get started. So, the first room that we are going to add details to is the reception area, which is the first room that you enter through the double wide main doors. Inside this area is where you would sign into the hotel, and where you'd get your keys, and, you know, ask people questions and all that. So first, we're going to add a shelf. The shelf begins above the end of the countertop here. It's made out of polished diorite, and we place polished diorite and extend across 1, 2, 3. We place tripwire hooks to represent key holders above the first two, and item frames with a book and a book and quill in the other two spaces. That is to represent like a sign-in book and all of that. We're going to place a double wide chest underneath just to keep keys and all of that. And we are going to, on the left side of the counter here, place a flower pot with a flower in it because it looks nice. And we're going to place a lantern for light hanging on the counter.
Alright guys, I think I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to finish off the hotel off camera, so I'll see you guys soon.